Addition, patio, or new roof? First Federal offers FHA Title I home improvement loans, home equity loans, construction loans, and owner-builder loans. With offices in Fayette, Greene, and Washington counties, your loan stays here. Visit a loan officer today or apply online at ffgc.bank. First Federal Savings and Loan Association of Greene County, member FDIC, equal housing lender, NMLS number 458729.
Route 21 Furniture, take the road to your perfect home.
Sleep well tonight. Try out a new mattress from Route 21 Furniture with a large selection of mattresses, all sizes and comfort levels, with great prices, free local delivery and setup, and financing options. Route 21 Furniture. Open weekdays 9 to 5, Saturday 10 to 5, Sunday noon to 4. 724-737-2222 or Route21Furniture.com.
Route 21 Furniture, take the road to your perfect home.
Chris Parker Jr., Trick or Treat is over. What's going on at Autoland?
Treats continue here at Autoland with 0% for 60 months on all 25 Tucsons and Santa Fe's.
0% for 60 months?
That's right, 0% for 5 years on the award-winning all-wheel drive Tucson and Santa Fe's with third-row seating, plus 0% on the hybrid Tucson and Santa Fe's. Don't want 0% financing? Choose HMF bonus cash up to $4,500 on Santa Fe's. Winter weather is coming. Now's the time to get your all-wheel drive SUV with 0% financing and have a vehicle big enough for the family and hauling gifts. Did you know Hyundai is also the most awarded brand by the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety for the past 2 years?
And every new Hyundai purchase includes Hyundai Assurance, America's Best Warranty, 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain protection, and 3-year free complimentary maintenance. Autoland Hyundai, downtown Uniontown, or online at AutolandHyundai.com.
And you always pay less to drive the best at Autoland Hyundai.
Concerned about your heart health? At WVU Medicine, we believe your heart deserves world-class care, close to home and always within reach. Our non-invasive cardiology team uses advanced tests like stress tests and cardiac MRI to diagnose and monitor heart conditions without surgery. Call 877-WVU, the number 4HRT, or visit wvumedicine.org/heart.
Ready to update your home? Find what you need at Zen's Construction Warehouse. Their friendly, knowledgeable staff will be happy to help you the old-fashioned way. Zen's is open Monday through Friday, 9 to 5:30, Saturday and Sunday, 10 to 2. 485 Walnut Hill Road in Continental. Zen's Construction Warehouse, 724-366-8274. Or visit Zen's Construction Warehouse's Facebook page.
Zen's Construction Warehouse, our surplus, your savings.
For the best lunch spot in town, visit Titlow Tavern and Grill on West Main Street in Uniontown. Serving up lunch including daily specials and daily dinner specials, including Wednesday pasta and parm nights with chicken parm for $15 and veal parm for $19. And half-priced apps and $1 off drinks during happy hour Tuesday through Friday from 5 to 7 p.m. and Saturday from 9 to 10. Titlows is also booking private parties. Call them today, 724-437-6749, or order online.
I'll tell you what, folks, I just sat down with my budget worksheet, pencil, paper, and a calculator. And you know what? I cut my expenditures by 15.1%. That's real savings, and I froze my salary, saving the taxpayers over $1,800. I'm doing this to try to save money for the residents of Fayette County because the commissioners have raised your taxes 78.2% in just 6 years. That's not right. On November 4th, 2025, vote for me, John Marietta, for Recorder of Deeds. Let's keep fighting for fiscal sanity and protect your hard-earned money.
'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
The views and opinions expressed on this program are those of John Marietta and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Fayette County Recorder of Deeds Office or Fayette County government. This program is privately produced and funded, and no county resources are used for its production or promotion.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I was trucking up the highway, minding my own lane, with some dude in a Prius went and flipped me off. Guess my redneck hit 'em wrong. Seems like everyone these days is a ticking time bomb full of hate for folks like me who don't agree and ain't ever gonna change. And it gets me thinking, leave this long hair.
Hey everybody, this is John Marietta, and the show's being brought to you today by Miles Garage and Tire Center, Mung's Auto Body, PatriotsOnline.com, Fayette County Recovery Storage and U-Haul, HC Storage, ACS Roofing. I got the guy here. We need to talk about that for a minute, maybe if we get done. JB Market, Thundering Hills Feed and Supply, The Ink Spot, Fayette County MAGA Patriots Group, Solid Foundation Ministries, New Life Free Methodist Church, Highline Motorsports, Gun Owners of America, Hillbilly Jon Radio, John Marietta for We the People, Powerline Speedway, and we throw in Fayette Structures. Gino's trying to get back on track again. He's been they're having trouble getting buildings, believe it or not. So, anyways, let's start out with this. Commit to the Lord whatever you do, and he will establish your plans. That's Proverbs 16:3. Folks, I'll tell you what. That verse has guided me every single day I've had the honor of serving as your recorder of deeds here in Fayette County. And yes, good afternoon, everyone. It's truly a blessing to be here with you today, surrounded by people of faith who care about their neighbors, their families, and their community. Now let me take you back to the beginning. When I first took office, most of the folks didn't even know what the recorder's office did, or that something called an automation fund even existed. It had never been talked about, never made public. So when I hear some of these critics say, I misused it, I can't help but smile a little. How do you misuse something nobody ever knew existed until I made it transparent? What I did was simple. I brought it into the light. I opened it up, made it public, made it accountable, and that's what good stewardship looks like. That's what the taxpayers deserve. From day one, we've been focused on making the office, and with my team, making the office work for the people. We changed the banks so that the county recorder's office now earns interest instead of paying fees. Remodeled the downstairs to properly store and preserve historic county records, the maps, deeds, and documents that tell Fayette County's story. And we digitized all of the microfilm, upgraded the entire filing system, and made it faster, more accurate, and more secure than ever before. But service doesn't stop at the office door. You'll find me out in the community, serving, helping, and showing up. We held a spaghetti dinner bash for the Dunbar community people, and they raised a significant amount of money.
A lot of people there.
Yeah, there was. We hosted a spaghetti dinner at the Marrero Fire Hall to help out our firefighters and help them raise money. We came together for a spaghetti dinner and prayer service at the Free Methodist Church camp, and folks said it was the best spaghetti they ever ate. I helped organize and attend the Charlie Kirk Visual, where people from all over the county gathered to pray for faith, freedom, and truth. And this summer, I spent 10 days at the Fayette County Fair, and I'll be back here next summer too, and 6 days at the Bullskin Township Fair, one of the nicest community fairs you could ever attend. Shaking hands, answering questions, letting people know what the recorder's office really does. And just for your information, I even delivered deeds to both fairs to people that met me out there, because I believe in meeting people where they are. I've delivered deeds to the mountain when surveyors needed a deed to figure out where a property line was so they could cut it right away. You've seen me walking in parades, supporting the Lee Greenwood concert, attending Warriors Rock, just happened in Connellsville, and I want to give a big shout out to Linda Shear for that. I've joined in many festivals in Fayette County, not for politics, but for the people. Because leadership isn't about photo ops. It's about showing up, serving, and putting faith into action. I never will be a career politician. I'm a working man who believes in faith, family, and Fayette County. Every budget cut, every record modernized, every meal served, it's all been guided by those same values. As we head into Election Day, which is tomorrow, I want to thank every Democrat, Republican, Libertarian, Constitutionalist, and Independent who's stepping up to make your voice heard. Because this isn't about party labels. It's about we the people. I'll tell you that one more time. This isn't about party labels. It's about we the people. Like our founding fathers, we believe in liberty under God, in individual responsibility, and in a nation where freedom is not granted by politicians, but guaranteed by our Creator. This movement, your movement, is bigger than politics, rooted in faith and truth, and it cannot be stopped. I am John Marietta. I am the Hillbilly, and as long as I serve you, I'll keep walking in faith, standing for accountability, and working every day to keep Fayette County strong, free, and faithful. Yesterday I was
Boy, you don't have to say that anymore. Last time. Well, tomorrow it is the big day.
Yeah, this has been something that should have never turned into. My opponent has just been totally. I can't even discuss it because it's been vile.
And I'm Sean Cavanaugh,
and
community activist.
Yeah, and this is Sean,
former commissioner.
I appreciate him coming in today.
I was with you in the primary. With you, not Shawnee come lately.
Yeah, and there's a great big sign in your yard.
Yeah. A lot of people drive by.
Yeah, and they blow the horn and wave at you.
Oh, yeah, they sure do.
That's one of the things that tickles me the most.
I tell them, ease on the horn. There's a bunch of cemetery across the...
Yeah, might wake somebody up, huh?
Just let them sleep in peace.
Anyways, when you're out putting signs out, and I can't tell you how many... actually, I had almost 10,000 cards printed to hand out. And we thought we'd have more than enough, but we're still handing them out.
Yeah,
we're still handing them out. People.
And then tomorrow you can use them to light your fires, warm the house.
Yeah. And that's what some
practical.
That's what some of the people say they're going to do with my signs, and it tickles me that I'm able to help them out that way. So, let's face it. You played this game. It's a rough
game in Fayette County.
Yeah, and especially when you're going up against the establishment.
I'm gonna throw you a curveball.
Go ahead.
You ready? Who is the greatest president in the history of the United States?
The greatest president.
There is no doubt. There is only one.
The greatest president in the history of the United States.
Yeah.
I gotta.
He got his butt whooped up there at Fort Necessity.
Well, this is true.
And they let him go. That was a big mistake.
They let him go. Well, he was shot at there 7 times or something. He had holes in his jacket and his coat.
The reason I bring that up...
I want to say, but you know what? You know who one of my favorite president was?
Who?
Jefferson.
Okay.
Jefferson had a hard time speaking. Did you know that?
I've heard that.
But he was a fluent writer. He could
write. He was a brilliant inventor and an architect.
Yeah, and he was he wrote the Declaration.
But he didn't sleep in Fayette County like George Washington.
Well, okay. Well,
come on, man. George spent time here.
George slept a lot of places because he was on the move all the time.
Yeah, but the reason, John, I bring that up about George Washington, here's a guy who, he got involved in the Revolution. And, he was somebody who wanted to be somebody, he wanted to do something. But, there's a thing called heart. I think George Washington had a servant's heart. And it wasn't about the power. I think he wanted to do good in his life. But when he got the opportunity, the guy dressed great. He spoke great. But he was very demanding. And but he had a servant's heart. And I think, and you think about it, the Capitol, Washington, D.C. We're celebrating 250 years.
Yep.
And, of course, Fayette County, 1776, Uniontown, was founded. But here's my point. There's a quote in the Bible, and you quoted from Proverbs, and so am I, Proverbs 29:18, where there is no vision, the people will perish. Now, the United States of America overall, we're thriving as a great country, but there's parts of the country that aren't doing well. And then there's Fayette County, surrounded by Washington County, just named after, of course, George Washington. There's Westmoreland County, there's Monongalia County, and these 3 counties surround Fayette County, and they're doing well. But the one in the middle is the one that has the highest crime rate, the highest poverty rate, the highest unemployment rate, and it could be 1 or 2. And we've lost when I was commissioner, we were closing in on 150,000 people. Now, John, we're down to 120.
Well, I would say it's closer to 108.
So we are not a fourth-class county anymore, and they play that game where, and that's got to be rectified. We're not meaning that we haven't maintained that population. As your population goes down, you go from first class, like Philadelphia, Allegheny, first-class counties. Fayette County was a fourth class, but really we're probably a sixth class county. But what does that all mean? It means that the failed policies of what are the three things that have been going on? Taxes, and taxes.
Yep.
Not to mention, again, the crime,
Taxes.
the poverty, the unemployment. And then there's a new statistic that came out, everybody, because of what's going on with our budget and everything on a national, state level, which they haven't done the budgets, is, that we've learned that almost 25% of Fayette Countyans are on SNAP or, they're getting assistance for food.
Second highest county in
after Philadelphia.
After Philadelphia.
It's actually like 23 point something, but we just rounded up to 25%. But what does all that mean? That the failed policies, and of course, the highest taxing county commissioner in the history of Fayette County, he's been there for 30 years, is Vince Vacides. And
a name you can trust to raise your tax. A name you
moving Fayette County forward.
Yep.
Oh, that's reverse. But, the thing is, I said many times, I don't know how the guy can look in the mirror and be proud of himself on what he's done for 30 years in Fayette County. And who's paying for all his mistakes? The citizens with the property taxes.
Owners. The property owners.
Yeah,
and that's where we're at. I mean, just think.
And that's why George Washington got involved, and then the Boston Tea Party. It was over taxes, and the British kept sticking it to the people, the American people, and sticking it. And finally, they just said enough is enough, and they rose up and started the revolution. Now in Fayette County, we can have a revolution in Fayette County through the ballot box, and that means you got to get these guys out of there. Vinny, Taxum, Vacides. Scott, shop till you drop done. One's a Democrat, one's a Republican. Hey, they prove that people can work together. And they're working together for the wrong reasons, not the right reasons. But again, I'm going to think about that. Tomorrow's election day. And my grandfather lost his leg in World War II. My uncle served in Vietnam and Cambodia. Fishhook, look it up. He was in some bad stuff, rest his soul. Mom and Dad met in the military. I was born in the military, was in the military. My son's in the military. But tomorrow, in the spirit of our country, vote for men like George Washington who risked everything. Because, if they lost, they were all going to be hung. What's the saying? We must hang together, for surely we will all hang separately.
Yep.
So, but anyways.
And the thing about it was...
But he was the commander-in-chief, the head of the Army, and I'm an Army guy, and I just vote for George Washington, vote for all the people that served in the military that have given us a good life. But, it's sometimes, hey, you got to get motivated, and I suggest get out there on Facebook, get out there and vote. Hey, vote Democrat, vote Republican, vote. But from what I hear, you're going to clean up on the red party, the Republicans, and a lot of Democrats are voting for you because they know. How can you we get mad at Coach Tomlin because we haven't been to the Super Bowl for a long time.
Yeah,
and you know what a lot of people say? Hey, he's doing the best he can, but we're used to winning Super Bowls. But in Fayette County, we don't even get to the championship game. We don't get to the playoffs. Highest crime rate, highest poverty, unemployment, mass population loss. We lost Penn State, and now 25% of our folks. And by the way, my mother was on SNAP, food stamps. There's a lot of working people in Fayette County there. But what does that tell you? People aren't making enough money to feed their families. And so I just say that, tomorrow's a big day, and they're all those guys that have been running this county, especially Vacides and Dunn, been in control, and raising your taxes. What was when I got out? Vacides raised the property taxes 65% with Hardy and Zimmerling. 65% 2005 budget. 69% tax increase, 65, 69. And then, boom, it's happening over and over and over. So, we are all in. This is our home. We live in Fayette County, whether you're from Connellsville, Farmington, Uniontown, Point Marion, Brownsville, Perryopolis, South Union, North Union, all the Bull Skinners, way up there, Henry Clay, all across this, you're paying for all this shopping sprees, buying all these buildings. And I haven't been involved in politics in a while. And I've traveled around the world and the country. But one thing there's one row officer who is standing up to this massive, crazy spending, tax increases, and it's John Marietta. And they're mad at him, so they're doing everything they can. Other Republicans that have put a knife in your back, instead of supporting you, they're against you. But you are the only one standing up to this crazy tax increases and all these bad statistics. I mean, look, I think Abraham Lincoln said that when you're elected, you want to be proud of what you do in your job. You want that car to shine. You want that house to look good. You want your yard, and we want people to have good jobs. But right now, ladies and gentlemen, your taxes, you're paying for this, and John's standing up to him, and that's what we need. But I mean, why aren't more elected officials standing up? I know one person out there that's giving them Charity Grimm, state rep. She's holding them accountable all the way up in Harrisburg. But we need more people to do that, John. So, anyways, I endorse you. I support you. And you're quoting from the good book, and the Lord's looking down on you. And when you get elected, He's expecting you to do a good job and continue to do a good job. And to be a good Christian, you're representing. You gotta. I mean, we're all sinners, but God wants you to represent Him and let Him know. So let's get out there and vote, because it's the right thing, and let's vote for all our family members who, from the Revolutionary War to today, have served our country. My family, your family. And let's get out there and vote tomorrow. I mean, this stuff where, it's not a big election, it's not a presidential. Look, we should have 100% turnout every election. 100%. Not 101 or 2, just 100. So, that's my thought. So I think that, tomorrow should be Veterans Day, because it's the veterans. It's election day, but it should be a combination, because if it weren't for the veterans and we had a great Civil War, and we've had issues in our country, but all the wars we've been involved in, and, we allies with the French, allies in Europe, NATO, people need to participate. And in Fayette County, when are we going to fire the coaches? Because they suck. They ain't getting it done. They ain't getting it done.
Well, look, I mean, you think
is a word.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
You think about it, Franklin and Penn State, it took them a long time.
Oh my goodness.
Gosh. I mean, and finally I get, it was to the point where somebody had to do something, and that's what happened.
Well, it's funny you say Franklin. They fired Franklin, but his record was not so bad, though. It was better than 500.
It cost the taxpayers $50 million to get rid of it.
$50 million, we
could have kept Penn State with $50 million.
Well, that's my issue at Penn State. They just gave the president a raise, and I think people should get raises when they do good jobs. But the president of Penn State, she got a raise. She's knocking out Fayette campus. And by the way, they're putting, they're saying, that's donations. $700 million to improve Beaver Stadium, because they want it to be like the largest. And look, I'm a Penn Stater. My kids went to Penn State. I like Penn State, but I don't let you close my campus in Fayette County or all the other campuses. But but you're worried about football. Yeah, $50 million. I mean, that's a lot of money. $50 million for one dude.
Yeah, I mean, you've been around.
But that's the point, though. Even Franklin won. He just couldn't win the big ones. But what would if Bill Cowher or Coach Tomlin or Franklin had number one in crime, 0 touchdowns, all interceptions, fumbles, players talking back, and you got crime, poverty, unemployment, mass population, 25% of your population's getting food stamps, SNAP.
Well, you think about it, Sean.
They got to go.
If the commissioners were a NASCAR pit crew, the guy come in with a flat tire, they'd flatten the other 3 just to make sure they were all the same.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just how that's how they work on things.
Buying these buildings, and they're like, but we got a grant. It's grant money. Oh, we got grant. What a grant money. is taxpayer money.
We'd like to have some.
It's
of
a
that
way.
money
It's
right
a way
now.
how they shift the money around. But I mean, you got to demand more from your elected officials, from the townships to the county to your state reps to the federal officials, and so. And when you think about it, who are the ones out there shaking the bushes about and calling to action? John Marietta, the only row officer, and I see Charity Grimm, and those are the ones speaking out. Yeah, everybody can yap about, the budget in this here, the budget in Harrisburg, the budget. How about the people working, eating, and having good jobs where maybe they don't have to get food stamps? They can make more money, and we can. Why can't Fayette County be a better place like Westmoreland County, Washington County, Monongalia County? Why? There's no reason why. But if you just have self-serving, look, where in the Bible, look it up, Proverbs 29:18, where there is no vision, the people will perish. I think the highest crime rate, poverty rate, unemployment. And again, my reason for backing John is not because he's a Republican, it's because he's standing up for the bad things going on in Fayette County. And I Googled Proverbs 29:18, and this is what it says here. John Little read here, he said, there's a phrase, where there is no vision, the people will perish. It comes from Proverbs 29:18 in the Bible, the good book. It means that without a clear purpose, guidance, or a plan for the future, people are likely to lose direction. Crime, poverty, unemployment, mass population loss, become unproductive, and fail. You have to say that when you lead every negative statistic in the NFL, your team sucks. When you lead every negative statistic in the state of Pennsylvania, your government sucks. It says, so without the guidance or the vision, unproductivity, failure. So that's it. I mean, who do you want? Who do you want to drop your kids off when they're daycare? Who do you want to drop them off where they educate them? The thing is, we all want them to get educated, and we want, I think you have a daughter, it's a nurse practitioner.
Mm-hmm.
I got a son that's going to have mechanical engineering. I got a daughter's going to be a physician assistant. It's like a nurse practitioner. And my other daughter's an art teacher for Uniontown. So, but ultimately, we want them to get educated, and then the only path, if you really want to do well, you leave. You have to leave. If you want to make a couple bucks, make something yourself.
You can't stay here.
So Penn State's gone now. I mean, I think Gino Gallo said it how many times? The canary in the coal mine, it died a long time ago. And, coal was one of our things. But, you look at the things going on in the world, and artificial intelligence and computer technology, data centers, but robotics and people that make the robots, people that make the parts that go into the robot. This is the future.
Yep.
And, we're not – so they don't have a vision. It's just like, hey, I always said one thing Vince C is good at, getting elected. But doing his job, he's the worst in history, And I would hate to look in the mirror and say, I didn't do a good job. I didn't make those statistics better. We never got to the playoffs. We never got to the championship game, and we never got to the Super Bowl. And, I'm tired of people, Fayette County. It's our home. This is where we grew up.
But, the thing about it is, and I've said this many times, the amount of natural resources we have in this county is second to anybody. Hardly anywhere.
Oh, how about the timber?
Natural
gas.
Timber, natural
coal's
gas.
Pretty much gone.
Well, no, there's 200 years of coal underneath us, believe it or not. There is. I've seen the maps.
And we fortunately, this year's been rough, but we have water. We have good water.
We have water.
Although the Yacht Dam, it's the lowest I've ever seen it.
Well, I think they do that almost every year to lower it because of the wintertime.
But yeah, you're right. We have great natural resources, and we have hardworking people. There are people that came from Fayette County and went on. George Marshall, give you an example. He came from Uniontown, Pennsylvania, and he probably could have been president. And he was the head of the military for World War II, George Marshall. And I think his house was a block from here. There are people that come from Fayette County and have gone on in the world and have done really well.
And I think about.
But you have to leave. And now with all this going on, it's hard to make a living and raise a family here. And people are doing it, but where do they work, John?
They're working 2 jobs.
I work in Pittsburgh. My wife works in West Virginia.
Yeah.
A lot of people work in Pittsburgh, some in Ohio, West Virginia. Some people work at the FBI Center down in Clarksburg.
Yep.
But if it weren't for the jobs outside the county, but the people still coming back and living here, I mean, we'd really be in trouble. But thank goodness for Monongalia County, Washington County, Westmoreland County.
Well, I can tell you that...
and those counties are doing well, and we're right in the middle. There's no reason. But again, if they steal every dang dollar they can get their hands on, and and by the way, you got an endorsement from our buddy Mr. Yatsko.
I did.
Yeah, former Fayette County Prison. His father was the famous Tweety Yatsko.
Yeah, I
John, right?
Yeah, Bob.
Or no, yeah, you're John, but Bob got Bob came out and endorsed you, and and that was another disaster. They built that prison, and so many cost overruns and things they didn't even tell us about and talk about. Cost overruns. There are 2 things you can do. Get elected. You can go in there to just benefit yourself and coast, and try to rig jobs, rig contracts, or you could go in there with a servant's heart and say, like Ross Perot said, he went down, I want to clean out the barn.
Yeah.
The barn needs cleaned out. By the way, I think we got natural resource. How about our farmers? Our 4-H community.
Yep.
God bless the 4-H people.
Yep. And the veterans in this county I really you think about it, they're really good people. And I'm getting a lot of support from the veterans, more than it's just unbelievable.
Well, hey, our family's military, and we're behind you.
And by the way, there is going to be a veterans luncheon on November the 11th, that's Veterans Day, at the Sala Foundation Ministries. They're going to have a veterans luncheon, and from 1 to 5, they're going to provide a meal for anybody that wants to come over. And I think it'll be a good thing. We're going to promote that.
Well,
we started doing that. We started talking about this about 2 weeks ago, and then finally, Larry Doherty said he cooked the hams and the turkey, and I'm sure that we're going to have a lot of different things. But it'll be
well. God bless our veterans, and the farm community. I was just looking as a resource, but our veterans. I would just say to the people out there, you're watching this, if you really care about your country, if you care about your family, if you care about law and order, if you talk about running things the right way and not the wrong way, vote for all the people who died from the Revolutionary War till today, injured, maimed. My grandfather lost his leg, changed him. My mom called him a bitter soldier. But they sacrificed so much so we could have, so for some people just to coast and do nothing. But they were the greatest. So tomorrow, we need 100% turnout. People need to get off the couch. And we don't need this mail-in voting. We need people to vote. And, of course, if you're sick or, you're overseas, we understand you're military. But it's important. Get out there and vote. And 2 days a year, you have an opportunity to choose good leadership, people with vision, or bad leadership, and that's what we're getting. And there's just too many. There's in this world, there's good and there's bad. There's light and there's darkness.
Yeah, I don't really feel anymore, Sean, that this is a battle between Democrats and Republicans or Democrats and
independents. And look in Ephesians, it's municipalities, principalities.
Yeah, it's a fight between good and evil. I mean, it really is, and that's where we're at. And if the tax increase is just unbelievable. It's just you can't say. Well, it's terrible. It's been a burden on our seniors. It's been a burden on the people that work for a living. I mean, you think about it, like you say, we got people working for a living, and they're still having to to get snaps.
Second job, third job,
and they're getting
some people. I've heard three jobs, and so I'll tell you, my mom raised me. My dad was in my life, but my mom raised me, and a mother will work 3 jobs to feed her children. She'll do whatever it takes, and God bless those people, and that's why we need to help people. There's a saying, it's kind of biblical, right? You can teach a man You can feed a man a fish, you fed him for a day. But if you teach him how to fish, you feed him for life. And the only way Fayette County is ever going to turn around, you really got to put good people in office at every level: township, borough, mayors, county commissioners, row offices. You know, they're getting paid, but you know, again, I feel you're the only row officer standing up to this BS. You all know what that means. What's going on in Fayette County? I mean, the proof is in the statistics. You know, it's just the proof is in there that, you know, how can we be the worst in everything? And, you know, unfortunately, poverty is a big business in Fayette County. Housing authority.
And you know what? That was something I didn't realize until
community action.
Until I took office. I didn't even. We have a homeless community. Right?
We're homeless. You have people on. Yeah. How many people living in the? Well, when I grew up, they called them the projects. Whatever community you live in, and then there's a lot of people. It's called scattered housing. It's called. You know, they get a Section 8 certificate. But you know, come on. So tomorrow's election day. There's one dude that's standing up. Oh, there's only one guy and they're all mad at him because he's talking. Why you keep raising our taxes? You know, at that meeting, I know people were really that last time they raised taxes, people came in were very angry.
They were
very angry, and people listen, man. If you're a lying, thieving politician, man, it's just really, you know, things are going to catch up to you. And this people are mad. You could see it. They're angry, and if you tax them out of their home, you know, this is what our country was founded on. I mean, so we need to get rid of the bad folks in here and straighten this county up. You know, quit pretending we're a fourth-class county when you're a fifth or sixth-class county. But if you're losing population, you're losing Penn State. You know, I'm unhappy with Penn State. I'm a Penn Stater, but I'm not happy with the leadership. I'm not happy. But they closed. Listen, they didn't close the schools where the population's good and they've got good enrollment. But we were losing population, and then when the kids that do graduate, they can't get a job in Fayette County, so they go to our surrounding counties or even out of state. You know, thank goodness WVU took over our hospital. You know, I mean, what a blessing that was. West Virginia University, that's a powerhouse town, but there's thousands of people that work in Morgantown because they can't work here.
That's true.
They drive 45. You know, if you live in Uniontown, you drive 45 minutes to go. 45 minutes. That's almost 2 hours of your life.
I called the contractor this morning. We have a set of doors. It's there's something wrong with them in our basement. So he said he'd be out. He said he'd try to see me before the end of the week, and I said okay. He said, dude, he said I can't hire nobody. That was his thing. He said I'm paying guys $22, $24 an hour, and he said I can't hire anybody. He said I'm paying guys $200 a day, plus whatever benefits I'm giving them, and he says I can't get people.
Well, we've lost when 20,000 people in the last 10 years have left our county. It's slim pickings. And, who was an actor, by the way? Slim Pickens, right?
And you know what he said to me? He says the youngest guy on my crew is 68.
Yeah.
Think about that. I said, you're doing roofs. He said, but I can't get nobody to come work for me.
Well, I mean, let's think about it. You can't get anybody to work for you. They're closing Penn State. All this stuff's going on. We need to fire the people. I mean, but what people know, like, hey, if you could get an elected job and you can and play the game, hey, you get paid, you get a retirement, you get health care, but nobody else is getting that. And, you know,
one of the things that the other thing I'd like to mention too today is the people at the courthouse that work at the courthouse. I'm talking about the people, the janitors, the clerks, and all these people,
secretaries,
yeah. Everybody, whatever designation they have.
The sheriffs.
Yeah, well, the sheriff,
security.
Yeah, the sheriff's deputies and all of them. You know, since I've been there, I mean, I talked to all of them. I've spoke to all of them. I mean, even the girl that comes and gets the garbage, I always tell her, I said, don't worry about my garbage. I can take it. Oh, no, that's my job. I said, don't worry about it. I'll carry it out myself. But she comes and gets it when I'm not there, and I thank her, and they mop the floors, and they clean, and they do all these things. You know, they show up every day, and I know they don't make good money. They do not make good money. Now, the benefits at the county is that...
Well, that's another reason why some people... Well, my husband or my wife makes good money. We just need good benefits.
Yeah. But a lot of them, like I said, I know they don't make good hourly rate. But the thing of it is that most of them they do get good hospitalization, and I won't take nothing away from the people that set that up for them. Yeah, but I think about them all the time, and I think if we could pay these people just a little bit better, if we could figure out how to do that, and we could figure out how to cut our taxes, and we could develop job base here in Fayette County somehow. We could get some major manufacturer in here. I met with.
You got to fight for it.
I met with Siemens 3 times, and I don't know if anybody knows who
well,
that's one of the most
very
powerful.
Famous person, Rick Pushkar. God bless his soul, recently passed away. Laurel Highlands standout basketball player, Waynesburg, worked for Siemens and did business all over the world.
Yeah.
And Rick, God bless his soul. But Rick left the area, and then Rick started working internationally.
And I've done that.
Shout out to his family.
I've done that. I've met with other companies tried to. But what happens is they look at Fayette County. They look at the dwindling population. The housing isn't there. That's the other thing. Our housing is. Anybody who wants to move into the county.
Think about it. You just said a guy, working man, contractor, works with his hands, can't get people. How is Siemens going to come here?
Exactly.
If you can't get maybe some entry level people to come in for basic, and by the way, I'm in the contracting business, and it is hard to get good help. But imagine Siemens coming in. I need computer programmers. I need mechanical engineers. I need civil engineers. The thing is that, again, we're right in the middle of 3 successful counties. There's only what's the difference of our geography besides these imaginary lines?
Actually, our geography is better than the other 3 counties.
We have great geography. We have great roads, but and that was all. We're going to build a highway. Well, you build a highway, and you ever heard of a bypass? That's what they do. They just bypass Fayette County.
They built a highway just so people could get out of Fayette County quicker, I think.
Yeah, well.
It just seems
you
like
need
that's how
good
it is.
roads, but you need people. we need human beings. We talked about Edge
think
Ovens.
about
Remember from Dunbar?
Yeah.
These guys they make some of the best pizza ovens in the world, and they ship them all over the world. And they're located right here, Dunbar. They start in Dunbar, and in Uniontown. And it's proof that you can. They struggle to get people. A lot of people from their workers were immigrants. Legal immigrants, but they couldn't get the people. But they found a way to get people. But you just if you build it, they will come.
Absolutely.
But you got to build your people, and we need who's guarding the what is the fox guarding the hen house? Or the dogs protecting the hen house? Because if the dogs are there, and we need, when I say dog, I mean people. Again, George Washington was a servant's heart. I just wish tomorrow we'd have had 100% turnout and vote in honor of our veterans. Everybody says they like the veterans, they care about the veterans, shoo shoo rah rah. But if you can't get out and vote, you really don't care about veterans, because that red on the flag symbolizes the blood that was spilled for this country to be what it is. And it's a great country in many ways, and it's a bad country in many ways. But ultimately, we need leaders with vision. And, and it's the right. County government is where the rubber hits the road.
Yeah, we have to fix our backyard before we can work on anything else.
Yeah.
And I really believe that. And this is where we're at. One of the craziest things that happened here.
How's your time, by the way?
Oh, I think we got about 5 minutes. But one of the craziest things that happened here in recent, they closed the power plant down.
Big mistake.
Masontown. It was a huge mistake. All the county commissioners from all the surrounding counties and our county commissioners should have been doing everything they possibly could to keep that power plant here. The other thing that happened was U.S. Steel goes to Arkansas with $12 billion. Now that could have been anywhere along the Monongahela River, anywhere. Just think what it would have done.
Well, thank goodness we fought, even from our highest level of government to keep U.S. Steel
Oh,
an
yeah.
American company.
Yeah.
Because if you don't make steel, come on, you might as well say you're not even a country.
Yeah, and it's just.
But right.
You think about all.
But
these
it was
things.
here. It's been here.
and it could have been right here. It could have been right here if we would have done the right
You know,
things.
well, the former, what's the Hillman barge?
Yeah.
Right?
Well, Hillman barge.
What are they called now?
Heartland Manufacturing.
Yeah, and they're doing well, but they're finding a hard time to get people. They
want to open.
They're making good wages
From
down
what
there.
I understand, they want to open up like another facility down there, but they can't get the people to come because once again, there's no place for them to live.
Well, John. Again, I think I'm not paid for this. John called me. I drove from Pittsburgh to get here on time. Again, he's the only row officer standing up against the crooked ways of the commissioners, and we need leaders with vision. We need, and again, with tomorrow should be a Veterans Day, Election Day. If you care about anybody that served in the military or worked on the military base, like my grandmother, she wired the bombers in Michigan, Mildred Cromer. You've got to get out there and vote. Vote for who you want. Vote for who you think. But remember, if they're just putting their hands in a cookie jar, again, I think Fayette County, it's like a car that broke down and they took the tires, then they took the the catalytic converter. They're just stripping the county down until it's to the point where everybody's leaving.
Well, Sean, I thank you for coming in.
Well, I
really
want to
appreciate it.
congratulate you for a hard campaign, and get out there and vote. And John Marietta, the only row officer standing up to the corrupt county commissioners and their spending policies. And hey, if one thing for all, it's your taxes. And as long as you live here in Fayette County, they're just socking it to you.
Yep.
Well, good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Get out there and vote.
Thank you.
Thank you, man.
And I appreciate you coming in, and I appreciate everything.
And we think Matt won Best Beard Award.
No, that's Nick.
I've been called worse.
I'm sorry. The best beard, huh?
Thanks, buddy.
Best beard.
Nick,
best beard in Fayette County.
Yeah, man, you should see that, man.
Hey, so anyways, I always close my show with this. On this road called life, you have to take the good with the bad. Smile when you're sad. Love what you got. Remember what you had. Always forgive and try to forget. People change. Things go wrong. Just remember, the ride goes on. God bless each and every one of you, and God bless America. I am John Marietta, and I am the Hillbilly.
Go vote, please, for those veterans. Thank you. And John.